What you're from my spirit, from my spirit, since when I hold on to you, from my spirit, that you are one time. Close your eyes and worship, oh, from my spirit, since when my spirit, until my moments free at the close, and you are worship, oh, from my spirit. It's all eyes in the world. Spirit calls. You nobody. One more time. Don't be tired. Take this to my soul. I'm in the struggle by this point. Time for oh, you are my freedom. Worship. You are here. From my spirit. It's from my spirit. We see. This living sacrifice, I am your worship, and now accept all to sacrifice. I am your worship. Oh, I the song today. Yes, I brought myself. I am your sacrifice. Oh, I am the song. I brought myself. I am your. So we sing, living sacrifice. No one shares. Yeah, yeah. This is living sacrifice. Just dependable. Because if I because it's time to shine up. Intentional. That's the reason. Now, God, what's in the right? So we are saying, faithful are you, Lord. Faithful are you, Lord. Faithful are you, Lord. You are faithful. Faithful are you, Lord. Faithful are you, Lord. Faithful are you, Lord. You are faithful. Tick, 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 tick.
Thank you, Jesse King and Mary, for that wonderful worship session. So, without wasting time, we'll be moving to the first session we are having for today, and it will be taken by Mr. David Fedza. Let's put our hands together as we welcome him.
Thank you. Thank you. Can we pull this down to down here? I'm sorry. Can we pull it down on the floor? Or is it better up there? Okay. Just pull down here if you don't mind. Oh, sorry. All right. Good afternoon. How is everyone doing today? Awesome. Very, very good. Well, thank you very much for. Is that here? Do you hear me okay? Is it echoing? Look to the back. Thumbs up. Okay. So, no, I am grateful to have the opportunity to kind of spend a little time with everybody this afternoon as we kind of kick off day 2 of our workshop. So, before we get into this, two things I just want to say. Okay. Number one, who here, does everybody have something to write with? A pen, pencil, some piece of paper? Okay. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do before we even get started and be thinking about this. What will be one thing that you hear today, that you learn today, that you want to take away and do later? Okay? One thing that you want to take away. So be thinking about that and write that one thing down, because I might come back to you at the end or later in the week. All right. Number 2, we're going to be, as you see in the title here, know your customer, grow your business. And while I'll use a lot of different business examples, I know in the room we've got not just entrepreneurs, we have ASA kids, we have scholars, right? So understand, while I'm a customer, this can apply to your life and anything that you do. So whether it is you're doing a project for school, or looking to get into a school, or talking to a teacher, even talking with a friend, principles can apply. Okay? All right. So what if I do that the biggest reason your business is not growing has nothing to do really maybe with your product, with your marketing, or with your price? What if it had everything to do with the fact that you don't know your customer? Think about that. I'm going to share a quick story with you from my own life. About 10 years ago, I started a new job, and in that job, I had an opportunity to launch a new product for my company. Okay, and in this new product, this was to kind of save the day. All right, we had lost some business to a big competitor of ours. We were going to launch this product. We had a customer. It was a really, really big retail customer, and we were going to launch this product. It was gonna be a huge success, right? We had amazing packaging, right? It was beautiful. It was pristine. We had incredible marketing behind it. Like I said, we had a really big customer that was buying our product and was going to sell it for us. Like we were going to win. In basketball terms, it was a slam dunk, right? So we had prepared this. I had the opportunity to lead this project, and I was so confident and I was so sure that we were going to be successful. I told the president of our company that I bet my career that this will be good. All right, so 6 months later, we're sitting in a big conference room. Actually, it was a big room. It was kind of like this room. And it was me, it was my boss, and it was two of the people from this big retail, and they were gonna sell it for us. And I sat there and I was excited. I was like, oh, they're gonna tell us how great it is, how wonderful we did. I knew it. This was gonna be amazing. We sit down and I'm excited. I'm ready to go. I want to hear, their great feedback. First thing they said to us was, "You failed." Oh, I went from this, feeling like I was on top of the world, to this. It was heartbreaking. I was absolutely devastated to hear that we failed. Okay. And unfortunately, that product that we had spent all that money, all that time investing in to launch, be the success, died right there. We never launched the product. It doesn't exist today because we failed. All right. And I'll get into a little bit, like I said, why we failed, but it wasn't because of our marketing. It wasn't because of the product. It wasn't because of how it was priced. It was because of, one key thing that we'll discuss. So I'll just share, myself. Whoops. Again, my name is David Fetzer. I'm thrilled to be here. I know we shared a presentation yesterday. This is actually my second time back here with you, which is amazing. And so again, just grateful to have the opportunity to share a little bit about this specific thing of how we can get to know our customer a little bit better and to grow our business a little bit further. So over the next hour, or I guess 40 minutes. Sarah, how much time do I have? 40 minutes? Okay. We're going to talk about one fundamental truth, okay? And that fundamental truth is know your customer. Know, again, if you're not in business, that's okay. Just know your audience. Who are you trying to talk to? Who are you trying to work with? Okay? If you want to grow your revenue, grow your business, build out your brand, and a brand that will last, this is absolutely critical that you know your customer. If you want to land that project at school, know who you're presenting to, right? Know what the parameters are, what is important. And the thing is, and this is very important, this is not just know about your customer or know about your audience. You actually have to get to know them, and that takes work. Okay, and we're going to talk a little bit about that actually to deeply know who your customer is. Okay, that means understanding their hopes, their frustrations, right? Really what they want and what they need, and ultimately what's going to motivate your customer to buy from you, support your project, or say, you know what, that's okay, I'm good. Or in my case, say you failed. Okay? Because behind every transaction is a person. Okay? So think about that. This is what we're talking about people. We're talking about relationships. Okay? And it is about people. All right? Does you know who a famous author and speaker is? His name is Simon Sinek. I know Lauren Margrave knows him. At least I got one back there. So Simon Sinek he's a famous speaker. He talks a lot about leadership and relationships. And he says people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Okay? They buy why. And they want to buy from people. Okay? They want to buy from people that they actually know and that they actually can trust. Okay? So when you really know your customer or you really know your audience, you stop guessing and you actually start delivering. Okay? Stop guessing, start delivering. You move from, say, chasing sales to actually earning loyalty. All right? Who in here is an entrepreneur? You can put your hand up a little bit higher than that, right? You want loyal customers, do you not? You want people to be loyal to you. You don't want just transactions. So we want to get to that loyalty piece, right? You don't just increase revenue, you build something that people actually care about. Okay, that kind of goes back to the Simon Sinek quote. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Okay. And in the example that I just shared with you all at the beginning, um, we did not pay attention to what our customer actually wanted. Right? We were chasing a sale. We were chasing something that we thought we knew what our customers actually wanted. And in reality, that wasn't even close to what they wanted. Okay. But we thought we knew the answer. All right. And so it's very important for us to kind of get out of our own way and kind of let go of our own ego. Do you understand? Right? And focus on what does our customer actually want. So, I mean, you know this, the marketplace, even think about, again, trying to relate it into, if you're in school, there's a lot going on. I would say the marketplace is very noisy. There's a lot of businesses out there. There's a lot of products out there. There is a lot of competition, right? And I truly believe, and hopefully you'll take away from this and let's also talk about this. And we discussed yesterday, Kyle and I talked about technology and all the benefits of AI and automation, and those are wonderful, right? Those are very good tools. But your real competitive edge, in my opinion, and I've done sales and marketing for a long time, I've had the opportunity to, is that personal relationship that you have with people. Okay, that competitive edge can kind of take your marketing from manipulation to service. It can transform your selling into storytelling, which we're going to talk about storytelling, and it can turn that first time customer or that customer that I don't know if I want to buy from you into that long lifetime loyal customer. And that's what we want. Okay. So you ready to get started? Yes. All right. So there are, I just say this, many, many different tactics that you can implement in order to get to know your customer. I could probably sit up here and rattle off 15 to 20. Um, Lauren is in marketing. She could rattle off probably 100 more than I can, right? Of how to really get to know your customer. But we're going to talk about just a couple of them. So here's what I'd like to do. If we could just shout, raise your hand and your thoughts and insights. What do you think are some ideas and ways in which you can get to know just your audience you're trying to present to? So give me a couple answers. What do you think the things that you can do to get to know your customer? Yeah,
Right, there is this survey form. You can make a survey with different questions and send it to their emails or WhatsApp
yeah,
them to fill whatever they feel, get feedback and what they
that's fantastic. She said you can do a survey, right? We can do a survey, ask customers questions and get their feedback. I love that. Yeah, that's one way we can do it. What?
perceive.
Give me one or two more. Go ahead. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I'm friendly to them.
Be friendly to them. Hey, how about that? Right? Treat them like a person. Treat them like you would your friend. Yeah? That's a great idea. Let's be friendly with them. All right. Okay, what about one more? Oh, there's one over here. He's understand their value, their values. Yeah, absolutely. Understand their values. So thank you very much. Um, so here, as we go through this, I really like to keep things simple, memorable, and actionable. All right, can you remember that? Simple, memorable, and actionable. Okay, we're going to try to kind of build this talk out in that framework, but that's a framework that you all can take away as well and use when you're trying to think about how we get to know your customer or, quite frankly, anything else. So lastly, and I've kind of already started to allude to this, we will be putting this lesson to test today. Okay, so I'm going to need your help and involvement in this presentation. Okay, I think I said it yesterday. I like to talk. I know I do, but I don't want to talk the entire time. So if you guys could participate, and then the other thing too, which I think is really cool, we have the opportunity to do it in this room, is you don't need to just learn from me. I don't have all the answers. We learn from each other. So there's some wonderful ideas and wonderful thoughts that you all have that maybe you have, somebody over here doesn't have. Let's be willing to do that stuff so we can learn from each other. Okay, does that sound good? All right, wonderful. Okay, so the first point that we're going to talk about, and there's going to be three main points that we go through. The first point here is listen more than you sell. Listen more than you sell. What does that mean? Let's be honest. We tend to talk probably a lot more than we listen. Yeah? I'm going to raise my hand. I'll be the first to admit. Yeah? We tend to talk more than we listen. Companies out there typically tend to talk at you or sell at me a lot more than they listen. And we're already losing the battle. if that's the case, and that's what we're doing. And when we do listen, do we always actually hear what they're saying? We might sit here and talk and have a great conversation. I could walk away and say, I don't remember anything she just said, right? So that happens a lot, okay? So it's really important that we not only listen more than we talk, but that we're actively listening, that we're paying attention, we're making good eye contact, we're sometimes repeating back what people say in order for us to actually understand it, and then we can ultimately go and do something with it. So, first question here, why is listening so important? Why is listening more and talking less important? Give me some answers. What do you think? Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so when we listen to the customers, we get to know what's in their hearts, and they get to tell us things that even our closest person won't tell us.
Yeah. So you get to really get to know them, right? You said you get to know their hearts. I would say we get to know their motivations, right? What do they want? That's a wonderful answer. Why else is listening more important than talking? Go ahead. Yeah.
I would say listening helps you understand them better. It helps you understand them better.
It helps you understand them better, right? Absolutely. Okay, we got a couple more. Yeah, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, when we listen to them, we understand their point, the exact what they are trying to say. So, except when we listen carefully, we understand what actually how to handle the issue they are talking about.
That's right. You're absolutely. You're trying, instead of guessing, right? You listen, you understand exactly what they mean. Go ahead.
When you listen to your customers, you get to know their pain points so that you know the products to produce.
Yes, you know their pain points, right? You know what frustrates them, right? And what do we want to do when we're selling something or trying to put a solution out there? It's to solve a problem, right? It's to solve a pain point. Go ahead.
Listening helps to strengthen the brand.
Say that-
Listening helps to strengthen your brand.
Oh, yeah, it strengthens your brand, right? It strengthens the brand of your company and product, but also strengthens your own brand as a person, right? Okay, last one. Let's do this.
To learn easy ideas and secrets to grow your products.
Learn ideas on your products. Yeah, okay, absolutely. Get to learn more ideas. And last one.
Listening also helps you to connect with your customers, and it creates a two-way communication between you and them. It's not just you talking, they talk back to you and you share information together.
Connection. Okay, I builds relationships. It builds connection. Okay, it builds trust. Right? If you think about the people you trust, and think about even within the community or people you buy from, if you trust them, right? You're much more likely to be loyal to that person. Okay, that's very important. It helps you get to know what your customers actually want, and then there was a comment already that talks about helps you learn and grow. I think you mentioned helps build your brand. I think about it the same way. It helps you learn and grow yourself. So those are absolutely fantastic. And this is a great quote from Jack Welch. He's a former CEO of GE, incredible business leader, incredible business mind. If you just listen, if you learn, you'll have a chance to grow. Okay? And that's another really important takeaway. If you learn, we actually give ourselves a chance to grow. Okay. So a couple more questions here. Let me ask you this. So you just gave me some wonderful and gave each other wonderful feedback as to why listening is important. Let's flip it around, okay? What does it feel like, or what is it like when somebody just like talks at you? Do you understand? When they're not really listening, when they don't maybe really seems like they don't care about what you have to say, right? They're just telling you. What does that feel like? Yeah, go ahead.
So, right, sir. So when maybe you're in a conversation with someone and the person is just talking at you, you will feel as if your opinions does not matter because whenever maybe I want something from you, all you just doing is giving me instructions and telling me it's as if whatever I have to say does not matter, and whatever we are doing, there's no connection, there's no relationship, and there's no trust.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah.
yeah. Like you don't matter. I think that's really powerful, and I agree. How about another one? What does it feel like? Go ahead.
Okay, so basically, when you keep speaking and it feels like they are not listening, it gives some notions like, oh, this person knows it all. So necessarily, I don't have to give my own bits. Then, or the person might still oversay some things that you be like, oh, I can't change this person's mind. So there's no point. That's what I
That's a great point. We feel like they are inflexible, right? That they know it all. Your idea doesn't matter, right? That's what it feels like. Okay, how about one more, Ahis?
When I'm just listening, it feels like I don't I don't have to contribute to whatsoever any the person is saying.
Yeah, you feel like you can't contribute to the conversation, right? And that doesn't feel good, right? We feel here's some words I wrote down, and these really touch on what you said. We feel probably maybe a little defensive. Does that make sense? Do you feel that way? We might feel intimidated, especially if somebody says like we think they know it all. We feel intimidated by that. And the other one, and this goes to what you said, we feel shut down. We feel shut down. That does not feel very good. So how does it feel? Now let's flip it back to the positive, right? How does it feel when someone truly tries to understand you, right? When someone's genuinely trying to help you, how does that feel? Go ahead.
Confidence and makes you feel want to talk more about it.
Yep. Feels confident. What was the last thing you said? I'm sorry.
Makes you want to talk more.
It makes you want to talk more because you're building trust. You're opening up. Okay, go ahead.
You feel motivated.
Feel motivated. Yep. Feel motivated. Maybe one more. Anybody? How do you feel when you feel listened and heard? That's okay. So, oh, there you go, right behind you. We have one more.
I feel that I'm bringing new ideas that can help the person.
Love it. You're bringing ideas. Okay. You feel like you're bringing value. You feel connected, right? We feel connected when we do that. And that's how we want to feel. Okay. So, what are some actions? Okay. We'll get into the practical here. All right. What are some actions that you, looking at every person in this room, that you can do to listen more, to be a better listener? What do you think? What are some actions you can do? Think about it from a business perspective, from your school, personal life, because again, it applies to all. What are some things you can do? He's one up here, buddy.
Your body language should be positive.
Your body language should be positive. That's right. If we're standing here like this, that's not very positive, is it?
Uh, so I think one of the things we could do is give open-ended questions. Like for example, maybe you're communicating to somebody about a product or you want to sell something to a person. The kind of questions you ask the person determine the response. So you don't just ask questions to give you a straight answer. Ask questions that makes the person give you why the product is important to the person, the value the product gives to the person. So yeah.
Did everybody hear that? Ask open-ended questions. Did you read my notes before, by the way? Are you sure? Okay. No, great answer. Okay, let's do one more, two more. Okay, two more.
Yes. Um, you when you listen to the customer, you don't interrupt the customer when he's saying something. Allow the customer to explain whatever he or she wants to explain so that you can get it clearly.
Yeah, okay, that's great. And last one.
Okay, so basically, feel it's more of being intentional about wanting to hear people talk. Like you have to come to the realization that you don't know it all, and there are a lot going on in people's minds that you won't actually know until you listen. Like
Yep.
lots of there are a lot of treasures in people. So if you don't listen, you won't grow. As you said earlier, we learn to listen, and when we listen, we have the opportunity to grow.
I love it. Yeah. We want to get feedback, right? And when we ask for feedback, that is a very humble posture. Does that make sense? Right? Think about yourselves. Is it more gratifying and fun to help somebody who is asking for help, genuinely asking for help, than trying to like give it to somebody who doesn't want to hear what you have to say? Very different experiences. So yeah, absolutely. Those are all fantastic answers. Okay. So to kind of wrap up our first point, here's my challenge to you. All right. I want you all in whatever situation, in business, personal, it doesn't matter. Okay. I'm challenging you all to add one open-ended question to every customer engagement you have. Okay. That's why I said you read my notes. That's my challenge. It's a great, easy way start to connect, start to get to know your customers better. Okay? Open-ended question is not, did you find everything okay? Hear that all the time. That's a yes and no. That's a closed-ended question. Okay? You can flip that and say, hey, is there one thing that we could have done today to make your experience better? That's an open-ended question. That allows them to now explain and talk about what it meant, what they felt, what it meant to them. Okay, you can grab that feedback and we can do something with it. So point number 2, walk in their shoes. Walk in their shoes. Okay, I like to think about it this way. Empathy beats assumptions. Okay? Empathy beats assumptions. I'll go back to my example that I gave at the beginning. We made a lot of assumptions. We made the assumption that we knew what was best, right? And we clearly did not know what was best. Okay? So to understand your customer, you must experience what they experience, and you need to try to do that firsthand. Does that make sense? Right? You need to experience what they are actually experiencing. So first thing, to make sure we got our definitions correct, what is empathy? Because this is important. Okay, who was here last year? It was this time last year we did workshops. Who was here? I know there was a few of you. I remember some of y'all. Okay, right. And Miss Erica, do you remember Miss Erica? She literally stood right here where I'm standing and gave a presentation on empathy. Right? That was the whole presentation. It was a wonderful presentation. So what is empathy?
That's that.
Okay. All right.
Empathy simply means putting yourself in people's shoes.
Putting yourself in somebody's shoes? Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it. So, in an effort to speed things along here, because I'm clearly lagging behind. Um, Empathy is feeling with people, right? It's feeling with people. It fuels connection. Okay. It basically says, I can understand what you're going through because I'm willing to sit in it with you. Okay. That's what empathy is. And as entrepreneurs, as students, it doesn't matter. We can practice empathy every single day in all of our relationships. So, and there, what we just talked about. So why is it important to experience what your customers are experiencing themselves? And we've kind of talked about this already. You think about it as an entrepreneur. Let's say you have a website. Okay, you built the website. It looks great. You think it's awesome, and you have like no traffic on your website. What might feel smooth to you may be really rocky for somebody else. Okay. And we've got to be able to pull back and look at things through our customer's lens so that way we can make it better and improve it for our customers. So I love this. Don't just build the bridge, right? You need to walk across it like everyone else. Okay. We love to build our own bridges and we think they're great. But when other people start walking across it, it's a little shaky, right? Maybe there's some boards missing. We need to be able to walk across it so we can make the corrections so that way they get a great experience out of it as well. So let's talk about how we can put this into action. And I'm going to share a few of these thoughts here with you as well. So some of the ways we can put this into action is number one, spend time with your actual customers. Okay? Just spend time with them. If you have the ability to engage with your customers at a shop or on the phone or even online, it doesn't matter. Spend some time. Ask those open-ended questions, right? We can tie all that together. The other really good way that you can look at this is observe your customers either shopping or using your product, right? See how they actually interact with it to see are they doing it the way that you would think they should do it. Okay? And if they're not, or if they're doing it a different way, another great opportunity to talk to them, engage with them, and get some thoughts and ideas. Okay. So my second challenge to you is within 1 week, okay, and again, doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or a student, step into your customers, we'll call it journey. Step into their shoes. Okay, find a way to step in their shoes and learn something from it. All right. The last point here before we wrap up, and this is absolutely critical, all right, is close the feedback loop. Close the feedback loop. Listening, empathizing, look, those are incredibly important. I would not have said them if they were not important. But if we don't actually do anything with that information, why did we do it? Right? Why do we actually spend the time to talk to our customers or talk to a teacher or talk to a friend? If we don't actually take anything and action off of it, we've kind of missed the point. You probably have heard this saying, knowledge is power. Has anybody heard that saying before? Yes. This isn't true. Applied knowledge is power, right? We have to be able to do something with the information and the knowledge that we get in order to have an impact for our own selves and for those around us. Okay, so I love to say this saying, listen, then say what you'll do and do what you'll say. Okay, first listen. That's important. We're going to actively listen. Then we're going to say what we're going to do. And then we're going to actually follow up and do what we say. That's integrity, okay? Say what you're going to do what you say. Okay, so when we close the feedback loop, and we act on what your customers are actually telling you or telling us, a few things I'll just share that we get out of it. Number one, these are ways in which we can close the feedback loop, okay? Number one is actually physically telling your customer who gave you the feedback, hey, this is what you told me and this is what we did. Very simple, right? If you gave a friend feedback that, you know what, maybe they needed to hear, all right, and they took that sincerely because they trust you, and they went away and said, hey, or they came back to you and said, hey, I took your feedback and I applied it in my life. Thank you for that. Would that not make you feel amazing? Would that not bring a connection closer together for you and your friend? It's the same thing for our customers, okay? So be willing to come back and share that in person if it's possible. Another way that you can do it from a practical standpoint is, again, probably if you're in a business setting more appropriate, but maybe you can reward your customers for their insights, right? If you send out a survey, I think you mentioned surveys, right? You can attach a reward to filling out a survey. That's a great way just to kind of create engagement and follow up. And another way that you can do this, and I've seen this as well, is you can do this on your website, on social, or even in a physical shop if you wanted to. It's a
you said, we listened, we did board that literally lays out, here's the feedback our wonderful customers have given us, and this is how we took that feedback. And that does a couple things. One, for the customer who gave the feedback, right? They love to see that. But two, for other customers, they know that you're a business that is willing to listen, that is very customer minded, and they're more likely to spend time shopping with you and being more loyal to you. Okay. So my third and final challenge. Did I go in the wrong direction here? I think I did. All right. Well, that is not the third challenge. That's the second challenge. So my third challenge to you all is implement a change that you receive feedback on. Okay. Again, if you're an entrepreneur, I encourage it to be from a business perspective, but again, it can be from any relationship. If you got feedback, make it, and if it's valid feedback, right? You want it to be, reasonable and real. Implement that change, and then tell that person, if you can, this is what I did. I took your feedback and I made the change. Okay, we'll bring this home because I know we're at time. So real quick, in summary, so how do we truly know that we're starting to know our customers? How do we truly know that we get to know our customers? And we just talked about these, right? These are the three main points. Listen more than you sell. Walk in their shoes. Close the feedback loop, okay? When we listen more than we sell, we kind of down the pitch, right? And we pick up the conversation, all right? Listen to what your customers actually have to say, what they're telling you, okay? Second, walk in your shoes, as I said, all right? Don't just design the journey, experience it, okay? Or if we go back to that slide ahead, don't just build a bridge, you need to actually walk across the bridge, okay? So you know what they're going through. And number three, close that feedback loop. If someone gives you their voice, yeah, give them a response. Action on that, okay? That will build connection and it will help you as a person, you as a business grow, because at the end of the day, business is not about products, okay? Necessarily, it's not about marketing. It's not about packaging. It's not about where it's priced. Those are important. I'm not pretending they're not. I am in sales. They're important. Okay. But what's most important in my and what really gives that competitive edge is it's about people. Okay. You want it to be about people. That is your superpower. That is your competitive edge. I'll kind of tie it back to this, and again, we're talking a lot about technology. We talked a lot about it yesterday. Those tools, AI, automation, all these things that we can do are really great and they are really useful and they can be very helpful in driving your business to be more productive and efficient and even competitive. But your real competitive advantage is going to be people. It is going to be your relationships, and it's going to be how you handle those relationships to help you grow as a person and your business grow as well. So thank you very much. I appreciate the time. I guess if we have time for any questions, we can do that.
And a question.
Thank you very much, sir, for the session. So my question is like this. I have a product to sell, but my target audience are mainly internet based. Like you don't see them face to face. So they are like, for example, a tech savvy person or a normal average young person. So how can I study my clients that who are like internet based, you don't see them face to face, and what you have is something at hand.
Yeah.
So how can I like connect the chain between the both of them, my product and my client?
So are you like your clients?
Yeah, actually.
Okay. So start here. Where do you go to get advice, get information, and feedback from others?
The internet actually.
Likely that's where they're going to.
Yeah.
Okay. So you start there, right? So whether it's, a forum, like online forum, or any sort of networking type of event, if that's what they're doing. Even if you might not see them face to face on daily interactions, just like you, they have to go to find information, to learn, to grow. So seek out where they might be engaging, and then find a way to engage them there. That would be a first starting point.
Sorry, sir. Another question. Sorry. This one is for me. Basically, for me, I really do not do scrolling online. It's hard. I don't know how to. It's hard. But I want to know because you said observe your customers, like if they're going to give shop and everything. So I don't know, sir. How can I like get? Because I have to go online, check different people who buy this stuff and everything. So how can I like do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, there's some practical ways, and I don't know exactly what your business is, but if you have the ability to send out surveys or questionnaires to customers, that's one way of doing it. Again, I kind of go to like online forum or networking locations. A lot of those you can send out questions and get feedback. It might not be exactly your direct customer, but it's the type of customer. Those are some simple ways that you can start to just implement that actual feedback. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Back, Ahis. Can we do one more?
So I want to ask, is it every feedback you get from your customer that you implement?
Is it ever feedback you get from your
That you implement? Yes, I'm asking.
like me personally?
No, I'm asking like a business person. I ask my customers, they tell me this. Is it every one of them that tell me that I should implement or I should pick out from what they say?
Yeah, no, okay, that's what I thought you were saying. That's a good question. Um, you need to be discerning of the feedback you get, right? Just like if you were to talk to friends, people give a lot of feedback, right? You need to be discerning, okay? So, I would encourage it, be prayerful about that. Not everything that customers are going to say is going to be truly a benefit to you or really to all of them. Now, here's what I would say. If you're consistent about asking for feedback and you're hearing the same things from several, I would pay attention to that. That's probably hey, multiple customers are experiencing this. I should really look into this. That's a great question. Okay. I think we're wrapped up. Thank you so much. I would love to talk to anybody if there's any more questions afterward.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fetzer, for that session. It was really insightful and engaging. So, right about now, we are actually behind time. We are having our breakout session. So, for those of you that registered for the advanced session, you'll be having your session at the Cook Studio, the Cook Creative Studio. So, you can get your things and then go for your session. Then, those that registered for intermediates, they'll remain in the hall. All right. To make it clearer, hello, everyone. Hello, please, let's listen. So, for those of you that registered, I know that some of you registered for intermediate session for the Microsoft Word, right? And then you registered for advanced session for presentation tools. So, for those of you that registered for Microsoft Word at the intermediate level, you will remain in Pete Johnson's Hall. Is that clear? Then, for those of you that are registered for advanced Microsoft Word level, you would go to the Cook Studio. So you can get your things now. Your facilitator is waiting for you. Thank you. No one is moving. Advanced. Let's move to advanced for Microsoft Word. Let's move to the Cook Studio. Your laptops are there. Everything has been set up for you. Thank you. Those having the intermediate session, let's move forward and occupy the free seats. We have some empty seats in front. So bring, for those of you that are at the back, kindly bring your things to the front and occupy the free seats, the empty seats provided for you. Before you commence, right? Just listen to this important announcement. The last time you had your sessions, most of you forgot to log out. And then our operations team had to take time to log every one of you out of the system. So once you're done with today's activity, don't forget to log out. Okay? Very important. Very, very important.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're about to start the intermediate section for the computer class. So please, one of the requirement for this class is your laptop must be connected to the internet. You must have a Google account. I mean Google account, a Gmail account for this section. So is there anybody here that does not have a Gmail account? We all have Android phones, right? So once you have an Android phone, you definitely have a Google account. Can we all turn on our laptops? And please, on each table, we have two chargers, but that charger can charge all the laptops there. So if your battery is low, kindly request for the charger and charge. Do you understand? Do you understand? Check if your battery is low. If yours is full, you don't need the charger. Look for somebody who has a low battery on his or her laptop for the person to charge. You have a ThinkPad. There's a different charger for that. No charger. His personal one. Okay, he has a charger, right? Have we all turned on our laptops? All right, please look for the Wi-Fi name. Some of your laptops might be connected to the internet. If yours is not connected, please look for guest login. Search for guest login. Have you seen that? On guest login, the password is splendid all in cap 3030. Splendid all in cap 3030. 3030. Once you are connected, just kindly log into your Gmail account so that you can, if you are connected, say hi, hi. Oh, okay. Splendid all cap. I mean cap, capital letter. Splendid. 30, 30. I'm about to hand over the mic to your facilitator. Thank you.
Fix it. Yeah. Yes. It's on. Thank you. Okay. Um. Yeah. Yeah. Do I do? Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Sunday. I hope you can hear me. Okay. Thank you. Um. Are we connected now? Do we know how to sign into Google? Have we done that? You haven't. But do you know how to sign into Google? You're on the shift. What's the challenge? Okay. Okay, now somewhere here. And the keyboard somewhere. Oh, that's somewhere around here. I don't forget the place. But the keyboard, no. Oh, yeah. Okay, so if you are trying to end, let's say you are typing xyz@gmail.com and then you do shift and then you press the 2 key and you don't have at pop up. Your colon, so to the right side of your keyboard, that's where the at is. Just in case. So what I mean is this XYZ. So this at, in case you don't have it when you press 2, it's on the other side. So the double colon. Are we good? Are we good? Uh, Sorry, this session is going to be more practical than just showing slides. Ma, you have Chrome. You should have Chrome. So just you can also use this, or you can just download. It's connected, yes. It's a download from Ma. Microsoft browser. Yeah, you can use Edge, but some of them it's not Microsoft. It's Chrome. Okay, I'm seeing persons are signing into Microsoft. Please, it's not Microsoft, right? So this is what you are supposed to do. If you have a Chrome browser or you have Edge, right? So just open your browser. So if it's Chrome, open Chrome. If it's Edge, open Edge. Have you done that? Okay. Let me use another window, right? So are we together? So just type Google sign in. If it's Edge, you have to do this, but if it's like Chrome, it's really not necessary, right? And then you can sign in. I think why it's taking time, some of the systems were just set up, so you have to, yeah, yeah, Google sign in. I'm already signed in, so just sign in, enter your email address. Do you have a phone number? Do you have an ETS email? They have to send a verification code to that number. Are we all signed in? Oh, ma.
No, no, this one, this one. Please, show of hands. If you've signed in, can you just raise your hand? You signed in. You signed in. Okay. Please, we don't have much time. Oh. Is there anyone who has joined the list of those persons that have signed in? If you have signed in, show of hands. Let's see those persons that are in. Okay. Okay. Let me have your yes. Eh? Okay. Okay. When it comes up, just ma. Sam, I told my here. Yes, sir. Here, here. Press shift. Press shift. Hold your shift and press it. Ma. Ma. Okay, what is it showing? Is this you? Anita. Is it you? Okay. Yes. Black person. Any challenge? Are you in? Are you okay, you are using Google Translate. Supposed to have a tab. Why is not translating? Sir, this one is a Russian. Have you sent it? Have you sent it? Ma? So it's just 7. What did you get? Pardon? Okay, the network. They will send you something. You type, yeah, it's in yes, yes, I'm
Since I copy, I'll paste down again. Leave my network, paste down. No, we didn't have phone.
No, no.
That's the thing. That's the challenge. They must not signed in.
Who's that?
Okay. Okay. Show of hands. How many persons have signed in? You signed in. Okay. Okay. So maybe other persons will join us along the way. Okay. Good afternoon again, everyone. For those persons that have signed in, do I have your attention? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Arahu Wafi Waibekan. Um, I'm a net scholar for work. I'm a freelance web designer and a front-end developer, right? And I'll be your facilitator for today. So today we'll be going over intermediate concepts for Google Workspace. So Google Docs and Google Sheets, right? So introduction and then the agenda and then straight into it. So dives into intermediate, like I just said, because of time. So can we look at the screen? Pause for a second and look at the screen. Pause for a second and look at the screen. So I really wanted to distinguish between these products, right? Do I have our attention? Right. Yeah. I don't know if this session is being recorded, but if it is, you can always get the recording later. So Microsoft Office and Workspace. So the first one obviously is Microsoft Office. So it's something you are used to, right? Um, you really don't need data to use Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, right? Except you want to use things like Office 365. But for this our session, we are using Google Workspace. So the one below, right? The one on top is Microsoft Office. The one below is Google Workspace. You get me? They are basically the same thing, but Google added some extra features. So that's what we're looking at, right? I just wanted a distinction because some first were saying we are doing Microsoft Word, but it's actually Google Workspace that we are doing, right? S- Google Docs and Google Sheets. That's the session I'll facilitate, right? So with Google Docs, be enhancing documents and then collaboration. That's one of the major things we'll be working on. I hope you can hear me. Is my voice audible enough? Thank you. So these are some of the things we'll be going over. I don't want to bore you with all of this. And then get straight into it, right? For those of us that have logged in, we have signed into Google. Congratulations. Please, I want your undivided attention now. Because this is intermediate. It's more practical than just theoretical. Yeah, thank you. So if you are signed in, right? If you are signed into Google, um, so top right, um, you see an icon. For some of us, it can be your image, right? Man, the internet is really slow, like really, really slow, and I have to be connected to it. Okay, right. So that's your account. If you want to manage your account, change password, change profile, you can do that. But the one next to it, Google Apps. So these are Google products, right? That most of us use every day. So there's account, there's Drive, there's Gmail, there's YouTube. We are familiar with YouTube now. There's Google Maps. So for those of us that use both, you use Uber, right? And there's Google Search, the regular type it on Google, right? There's Google Calendar, there's Google News, Google Photos that some of us will use. Chief, echo, should it is there. And then you can see Google Sheets, Google Docs, and Google Slides, right? So that's what we'll be doing right now. Google Sheets and Google Docs, right? So for those of us that have signed in, you can click on Google Docs. So top right, click, and then you scroll down Google Docs. Network is slow, right? So you are supposed to have this. If you are visiting for the first time, right, here's what you see. If you are visiting for the first time, another way you can open it is open a new tab and just type Google Docs. And then you also have that come up. So I'll click on the first one, this one, and then I have Google Docs. And then that way I can say docs.google.com. These are some of the ways that you can actually open Google Docs. You see, it's the same thing. The three tabs are showing the same thing. So, part of our scope is to enhance documents and then collaboration. I don't know how many of us are sending now. Show of hands if you are sending. At least I need a table, like one table. You have to have someone who are signed in. Is there any table that's there's no one that have not signed in? Like any table. Do we have anyone signed in here, love? Okay. We have one here. We have one here. Okay. 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 If you have not signed in, show of hands. Let me see. If you have not signed in, show of hands. Okay. Okay. We all have these, right? Okay. So there are broadly two ways by which you can use Google Workspace. But for this our case, Google Docs. You can either use a template approach. So template means you already have something. You just have to edit, or you can do it from scratch. So if I'm going to use a template, I can just click on, let's say I click on this brochure, for example, right? And then I have a template. So I can put the name of my company. Let's say XYZ company, right? I can just, template means you already have a layout. All you have to do is edit, right? But the approach that will be taking is we'll be building from scratch. So this is what I want us to do. Go back, click on this one that has a plus icon, blank document, click on it. So you have, so we'll do everything from scratch. Have we done that? And the network is something else, but we'll manage. We'll manage. Okay, so do we all have this? Yes. Okay. Do I have your attention? So part of what we'll be doing, please let me have your attention. Part of what we'll be doing is to organize files, right? So we want, if we're going to create a document or a sheet, we want them to be somewhere, like a folder, such that in the near future, if you want to share the folder with your friend or edit something, you would you would see something. An example is this my desktop, right? They are tiny, but you can see different folders. So there are different things I can access, right? So this is what we use for that, right? Create a new tab and type Google Drive. Let's just save time. Let's save time. Okay. Do we have Google Drive? Sorry, I already have stuff on my drive. Google Drive. Do we have this interface? Google Drive. Are we together? Uh, I know the internet is slow, but let's manage. Let's manage. So if you are here, click on this plus icon, new. Man, it's really slow. Okay. And then you'll be greeted with a modal. So a modal is something that pops up. So when you click on something, let's say you click on a button and then something shows, it's called a modal. So this modal that pops up, you click on new folder and then you can create a folder and give it a name. So new folder, I can say it was workforce dev, let's say 25, right? And then I click on create. Yeah, new folder. Have you done that? Have you done that? Here, new. So for those of us that have done that, man, it's starting to frustrate me. So you can double tap to open your folder. Like click twice, that's double tap to open your folder. Are we together? Okay, where did you stop? New. Okay, click on new and then click on new folder. What's it showing? Refresh the page. It's the internet. Just if you are trying to click and it's not working, refresh the page. So how do you refresh? F5. So on your keyboard, you have function keys. F1 to F12. So look for F5 and then click on F5. Like tap F5. Is it working now? It's working, right? Okay, new folder and then give it a name. Why is it here? It's working now. So give it a name. Have you done that? Have you done that? So the whole essence of this is to organize our files, right? Such that if I'm trying to locate my documents, it's inside of a folder and I can just go there and I can access it. Right? Are we together? Okay. So you can go back to your sheets, like the Google Sheets docs that you created, right? So one thing we'll do is we'll move our documents into our folder, right? The goal is to stay organized. I promise you, this is the hardest part. After this, okay, can you hear me? Those persons that have issues, can you hear me sort them so I can concentrate on this? So, okay, are we together? What's the challenge? That I cannot help you with. Is Uncle Uchi around? Is there a way they can distribute the network? So instead of one central system, can actually distribute everything so that the traffic is actually less. Okay, if you are still here, do I have your attention? If you are still here, right, you can go back to your tab, or you can click on new and then click on Google Docs, and then you have a new Google Docs open. And see, are we together? Are we good? Okay, this is your folder. Oh, yeah. Okay, so um, we'll have to move now. Like, there's no time, right? So what I did was, do I have your attention? What I did was, I gave AI prompts, right? So I took my objective for today's lesson. I gave AI a prompt and I told AI to generate like a curriculum, more like something more out of what I already had, right? Then it gave me this. So this is what I'll be working with. If you are paying attention, you see that it's actually the scope. Test formatting, document design is what we're actually working on, right? But it's to facilitate the process, to make it faster, right? So the first thing we are going to do is obviously test formatting, right? I'm going to select my test, and this is something we are familiar with. That's why I'm rushing. I can increase font. We know how to increase font size now, right? Yes, I can increase font size. I can reduce font size. It's what you already know with Microsoft Word, right? But this is what Google Docs have done for us, right? With Google Docs, I can actually format my documents in a way that instead of having to scroll like this, I have tabs on my right that I can navigate. You get? So for students, let's say you're working on a project and you're in chapter 2, literature review, and then you have like, let's say 30 pages. So instead of having to scroll, you can just navigate the tab. This is what I mean. On my ribbon, I have normal text. You can leave your system now and pay attention. And then I can click on title and then apply title. So if you look towards the left, you see something has been added, right? So let me do that again. I have it selected, title, and then you see it has added something. Now if I go to the next one and then I select, let's say I want to make this heading 1, you see it has added another one. So this guy is important. Let's say I come to learning outcomes and then I make this, let's say heading 1, right? And I'm here. Instead of having to scroll, I can just click on learning outcomes and then it takes me there. Instead of having to scroll back up, I can just click on this and it takes me there. So it helps you stay organized. Did you get? And then let me select this one and give it, let's say heading 2. You see, the moment I give it a style, right, it adds that tab such that I can navigate from one tab to another tab to another tab. Does that make sense? And then I can also create multiple tabs, just like Google Sheets. So I'm still in the same document, but another tab, like this part, like this. I'm actually still on my Chrome, but I have different tabs. Do you get? So let me select the other one and then give this one heading 3. So basically, I hope you are getting what's going on, right? The moment I give it a style, it adds a tab, right? So that's one important thing with Google Docs. Okay. I just heard someone say I don't understand. So this is what I have currently, right? I have a text and then I want to apply styles to it, right? So this is what I want to do, right? I want to select, you don't have to select, but just to paint a picture. I want to select the entire line, right? And then give it a style. So I'll select it, and then there's a drop down I can use, and then I'll give this one title. I just applied style. It's that simple. It's just click and then you have a style. Click and then you have a style. And then I can select another one. I can call this one heading. So the whole idea with this is, say maybe I have 20 pages. Instead of having to scroll, I can just navigate with my tab. So let me give this one a style again. This learning outcomes. Let me give this one heading 1, right? So if I click on learning outcomes now, it takes me down. If I click on advanced, it takes me up. So I don't have to scroll, especially when the document is like a lot. That's one benefit, right? And then there's something I want to introduce us to really quickly because of time. It's I really want us to work on something simultaneously. So let me see those tables that have people connected. If you know you are signed in, let me just show of hands, show of hands, show of hands if you are signed in. Okay. Okay, let's say the tables now. Let's call the tables group, right? So I expect us, for those of us that are signing, to do the task I'm about to give because of time, right? So do I have your attention? Right? So the whole essence of this is to collaborate, right? So something happened on recent. I tried to apply for a job, and then after applying, I was like, let me just check um my portfolio because I sent a portfolio, and then I realized that I made a mistake. But the good news was that I sent them a link, not like a file. You get? And with Google Docs, I can actually edit and then they see the change in real time. So that's what we work on. Just follow me. Follow me. Top right, you can see a share button. So click on share. It means just like phone number, you'll be exchanging email addresses, right? You've clicked on share now. So this is what you are supposed to see. Restricted. Alright, okay. Let me do it here. So if it's prompting you to save it, right? If you click on share and then you are getting a prompt to save it, so give it a name. You can say A2S Google Docs file, workspace, whatever, or workforce. And then you can save. And you should see this modal. Chief, are you with us? Please give it a reasonable name, oh. Don't something you can remember. Don't give it name like Osas, Bola. Please don't do that. It's refresh am. Get you observe wetin I do just now, ba? Are we together? Mm. Yes, yes. Okay, so if you have this, let's say you have a blank document, just type anything. Welcome to A2S Workforce Development 2025. Something you can work with. Intermediate breakout session. Pete Johnson Hall. Something you can work with. Refresh. Click on it. Click on it. It's restricted. Refresh your page. and then try it again. Yeah, just hold on. That's what we're doing. So if you have this modal, it's showing restricted. It means you are the only one that can see it. So this is what you do now. You drop down, restricted, you click on that, and then you click on anyone with a link. Right? So this is what you do. You take someone's email address or you give someone your email address, and then you send the link to them, or look at this, or you do this. So here you can say, um, let me use my other account. So I say let me make the person an editor. So you can make the person a viewer, commenter, or editor. Let me make the person editor. And then let's the internet is slow, but basically you can share this document with another person, and then you get to collaborate on it together. Ah, let me give it time, ma. See what you're doing. Just it means you're not signing again. But it's what you are doing is not working. Ma. So okay. Ah, madam, madam. So which one do they have next? Is it PowerPoint or Excel? Can you help me check? Excel. Is it Excel? It's Excel. Okay. So before we move to the next section, you can see all I had to do was she said 10. So maybe you tell her so that we move on. So you notice that all I had to do was put in my email address of the person I want to share the file with. And then when you are done with the email and then you have this, let me just click on this and then I'll say send, right? So the person you are sending the link or sharing the link with will get a mail, right? And then they can access it from there, basically. I'm sorry the network today wasn't pleasant, right? But Subsequently, you see, I'm even trying to share, but it's taking time. It's internet. I mean, if you have enough data on your mobile phone, you can hotspot your system, so it's faster. It's internet. You are done. You're following me. It's internet. The internet is slow. Let me try it again. So what you can do, you can get her email address and then you work on something together. You click on done. So look at something now. Let me see if the again, if you have data on your mobile phone, you can just hotspot your laptop so it's faster. System not good. Okay. The Yahoo boy. Okay, so this is what I want us to do, right? This is what I want us to do, right? For continuous learning. Um, group one, group two, group three, just like that. You take dressing from that. Get a sheet of paper and then you write your name, email address, and phone number, right? So maybe we could do virtual on something like Mama was saying something about Google Classroom, right? You can be added to Google Classroom and then you can continue the lesson from there. Yeah. So instead of having to waste time, we are still together. So tear out a sheet of paper, your name, your email address, your phone number, and your NIN. Just your name, email, and phone number. We don't need your NIN. People they fear NIN.
I know this share with email. After I've shared it, what will show next?
You will get email notification. Your Gmail.
I like this guy. I like her email, but not post it.
My network. I've gotten notification already. So I think for the next session, right, because of the whole network wahala, we'll have to maybe use Microsoft instead of Google Sheets so that we can actually work offline. So, yeah, yeah. Ma, we need the network now. Yeah, true. Where are we on the sheet of paper? So this for your table. Like, please don't add your NIN. Preferably your WhatsApp number. WhatsApp, just in case. There's no sheet of paper here. Yes, each table, please, a sheet of paper.
This stuff will not be sure, but currently,
Please give me a valid email. Understand? How do you share this your this was click on it. You know what? Give it your name. You must save it now. So let's say this is the name you want to name it. You click on save. And then right now it's restricted. So you have to see any one of the name. So your full name. No one has passed. And then put the person email here to get. So the thing is, for the next session, right, we have persons currently in advance that want to join us. So that's like why we are waiting. So in the meantime, we can collaborate. So share the link to someone and try to work on something together. Instead of just sitting and doing nothing. I mean, ma, your name, email address, and phone number. Please, a valid email. A valid email. A valid email. Can I start? Yeah. No, yes. You see this place that you have? Yeah, 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 yeah. See this place that you have, this, right? You can have, you see, people groups. So let's say you have multiple people. You can put their mail here. That way you can do it. You see this link here. You can copy this link. Let's say you have WhatsApp. You can just paste it on WhatsApp. But before you do this, right, then that not unrestricted link. So anyone, I copy this link here now and I paste it on WhatsApp. Anyone that clicks the link have
Hello,
access.
everyone.
Get me?
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Hope you're enjoying your sessions.
The network.
Hope you're enjoying the sessions. Why? Network. Oh, we are sorry about that. I guess it's because of the rain. Okay. But try to, you have your jotting materials, right? You can jot down some other important aspects you would love to try immediately after you're done from here. So when you're given assignments to do, you're going to work on it individually to perfect what you've been taught, right? So you're done. I was told just now that you're done with the first session. And I know that some of you that are seated here, you registered for the advanced level of Excel. So if you are at the advanced level at Excel, you can pack your things and move to the other station now. How many of you registered for the advanced level of Excel? Okay, good. So it means you're done with your session, the first session now. You have to transition to the other station. While others who registered for
More
intermediates can come here.
tight.
Okay?
You get.
So you can get your things and then leave.
It's up to you.
While those that are at the intermediate level for Excel can remain here. You have just 3 minutes to do so. Thank you. Please, you're not moving with the system. There are systems at the Cook Studio there for you. Can we bring our voices down? The noise is too much. Thank you. So we are about to kick off the second session now in Excel.
They will use this one as it's. Because I told them to write their name, email, phone number. No. Yes. Madam, can I please? Okay. Do I have our attention? Again, I want to apologize for how the first session went because of network. So because of that, we'll have to work offline, right? So remember this diagram, this picture rather, where I distinguished between Google Sheets and then Google Workspace and then Microsoft Office. So when it's a collection for Microsoft, it's an office. So by collection, I mean Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook. We call it Office. Then for Workspace, when it's a collection, you call it Workspace. So Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, Google Drive. Do you get me? Thank you. So do you have Excel on your system? Microsoft Excel. So follow me. Click on the start button on your keyboard, start button. It looks like this. It looks like this. Start button, click on it. You have mode that pop up. This time around, you have to be. Chief, why are you recording? Start button, click on start button. Leave this one, click on start button. Sir, on your system. That's what we are working with. So just type Excel. Like, I think I have Excel on my system. Yeah, I do. I do. Don't. Huh? And that's why it's not working. Yeah, yeah. I have an activator, but I'm not sure I came with it. Where's your where's your list? Create one now. Like sheet of paper. Use your jotter now. Well done, sir. So where's the list for this? Like a sheet, just tear out a sheet of paper. Thank you. Be sharp. Please, I need your list. This is not where this session will end. There's going to be an after class. Do you get? That's why we need the list. Or maybe I just need your phone numbers for broadcast message. Okay, can we continue? Preferably WhatsApp. Can we continue? Okay, so how many of us are familiar with this screen? Are you familiar with this? Okay, in computing, we call it an interface. So I'm using interface a lot. So when I say interface, I'm just saying what you are seeing, right? You are familiar with interface, right? Right? Are we robots? So, since we are familiar, what do we call this thing I'm seeing? What do we call it? Roll and row and column. Okay, another person. Spreadsheet, yeah. So this part of the spreadsheet, what do we call it? This part, this white part. Worksheet. Omo, you dey hot o. Another person. Another person. They are called cells now. Cells. Like you said, rows and column. Ah, is it your mind? Oh yeah, now. Okay. Do I have your attention? So again, because I was going to work with Excel and I needed data to work with, what I did was I gave AI prompts. So I told AI to generate, okay, I told AI to generate data for me. So the data contains name, country, continent, custody of graduation. I think with the previous set, what I did was I told AI to generate, I think 20 or 40 jobs, like jobs of the future that we currently don't have. So things like climate engineering, things that we currently don't have in our landscape, right? So you can do a lot of things with AI. So I didn't have to type all of this. I just gave AI prompt and then I downloaded it. So what I did was this. I have ChatGPT, I have DeepSeek. Oh, didn't work again. So you can just say generate a spreadsheet. You don't have to do it now. I'm just saying how I did it. Containing table, containing name, let's say country and jobs future. And then when I'm done, I can say put in Excel formats. Let's say at least 20. And then it will give me something. I can just download and then I will import. You can see all I have to do is download. Supposed to be download. Aha, it has downloaded. Right. So you see, I didn't have to type all of this again. So again, there are a lot of things you can do with AI. For students, you can even use AI to make reading easier for you. When I'm developing, let's say I'm working on an application, and then there's a task I cannot think of a solution immediately. All I have to do is I'll take a screenshot and then I'll give AI. Um, let's say I am a JavaScript developer for those of us that are tech savvy. I'll just say build this interface in JavaScript and then generate the code for me. From that, I can get ideas. So let's say you are a chemistry education student and you are trying to understand the course. You can put the topic in AI and say, explain to me like I'm 5 years old. And then it does that for you. But please don't use it to cheat in the exam. They will catch you. I promise you. Right? So let's say I have a blank sheet. Wow. I can export, publish. You see, it's similar to Google Sheets, right? Um, Similar, not like they are the same thing, right? Um, Google Sheets has collaboration feature that Word doesn't have. But Microsoft launched a product, they called it Office 365. So it's like Google Workspace. So Office 365. So it's like your Google Workspace. It works on the web, right? So if you prefer Microsoft to Google, which I doubt, you can use 365. So now let's go over what we have today, right? So Google Sheets, data management and basic analysis. We will not be doing the conventional analysis, just something basic because of our time. And then multiple worksheets, name ranges. This is what we'll be focusing on. Data range, if, VLOOKUP, and concatenate, right? If you are not uh, math savvy, you can leave now. I'm just joking, just joking. But we're doing a lot of calculations, right? I expect you to know the basic. Um, I expect you to know the basics. So how to save a file, how to export a file, how to how to do basic operations like 1 plus 1, 2 plus 2. I expect us to know that because this is intermediates, this is not beginners, right? So before we do that, let me quickly show us something. Bottom left of your interface, you can see sheets, right? Remember when I was explaining tabs with Google Docs, right? And I said you can create multiple tabs, but the same work environment. With Google Sheets, you can do that. So I can create another sheet, sheet 2. I can create another sheet. So let's say on this first one, I can say name, age, school, and then I have a data for that. On the other one, I can say um, occupation, you get, I can say interests. Then on this one, I can say religion, right? But I still have the same file, but I have multiple tabs. So I can simply navigate from one to the other. I promise you, this is the simplest part. I can navigate from one to the other, right? I can navigate. It's something you can play with. You can just create multiple sheets and then um so this is the data that I generated using AI. I have name, country, continent, course of study, year of graduation, right? And then created a new tab. This is something we'll be working on. By the time we are done, you'll be able to work on something like this. And then another one, and then another one, then another one, and then there's assessments. Don't worry, it's not hard. It's not hard, I promise you. So I'm trying to work with the range I was given to work with, such that we don't work outside of our scope, right? So we just talked about multiple worksheets, the tab that we created, and then there's also data ranges, logical functions, VLOOKUP, and concatenate. I know it's not making sense now, but when you start working on it, you would understand um, what we are trying to do here. So the first one is if, right? So there are some of us here that are part of the um, ICT class, right? And then we've done HTML, we've done CSS, we've done some of all of these things, right? And then with if, concatenate, and data ranges, they are simply statements that um, it does something. They are conditional statements. So an example is if you are here, it means you signed up for intermediate class. If you are here, if you are in King Johnson Hall, it means you signed up for intermediate class, right? If you are at Cook Studio, it means you signed up for advanced class. That's if, basically. So how do we work with if? Let's say I have um I created this so that I save time. I just created name, course of study, CGPA, class grade, and then the if statement. So for those of us that are students, 4.5 and above is first class, right? And then 3.5 to 4.49 is 2-1, just like that. So what I did was, if it's 4.5, it means it's first class. If it's 3.5, it means it's what? Thank you. If it's 2.5, it means it's what? Thank you. Um, so how do we get to make that work? There's something called functions. I don't know if they taught us the last time, but with your functions, you can do operations, you can do addition, you can do subtraction, you can do division. It's like your calculator, but more advanced. So be doing if, so you have your time to practice. So when you click on if, and then you press OK, you are greeted with a modal. So what this modal is saying, what do I want to test for? An example, Pete Johnson Hall, intermediate. Cook Studio, advanced. You get? So the condition is if I'm here, it means intermediate. If I'm there, it means advanced, right? So logical test, this is what I'll do. I'll say, let me just show us a basic example. Let me use this one. Let's just so that I can save us time. So notice that our cells are labeled. By labeled, I mean you have A, B, C, D, right? And then you have 1, 2, 3. So by that I mean if I'm here, it means A1, right? If I'm here, it means B1. If I'm here, it means C1, just like that. And then if I'm here, it means A11. You get? So how I'm doing it is A here against the numbers. So letter against number, right? Because we're using that a lot. Um, so notice um where we have 4.5. It's in B13, right? And then what we have first class is in B14, right? So let's check. We already have our table. We have name, course of study, CGPA, and then if, which means, let me take it here, if. It means if the person has 5.0, it's first class. So I just say if it's 5, this is first class. So which cell is 5 now? Who can tell me which cell is 5? See what? Huh? See 1, 2. I must see something. Oh. See what? Okay, fantastic. So and we have first class where? Thank you. Thank you. So now we are going to see, just wanted to copy to save time. We're going to say we have C1, C2, right? We're going to say if C2 is equal to B13, so logic test, it means what are we checking against what? Another example, Kit Johnson intermediate. So what's the logic test now? Kit Johnson. Cook Studio Advanced. What's the logic test now? Cook Studio. So what are we checking now? 5, right? And 5 is what? C what? Thank you. C2. And then I'll add a comma. So Pete Johnson is the logic test, right? And then value if true means if I'm here, it means what? It means what? The intermediate, exactly. So that's the true value. So if C2, which means if 5, we're going to see first class. And then we don't want to give it a false value. We can give it a false value. We can say, let me just say tests, or I can leave it blank. Then can close. I promise you, this is the only hard part. It only gets easier from here, I promise you. So let's do it again. So this is what we do now. Let's make it interesting. This is Pete Johnson Hall, right? So let's say hall, hall. I don't know how to spell hall. Help me. Hall and then class, right? Right? So Pete Johnson means what? Thank you. Means intermediate. And then Cook Studio means what? Yeah. So this is what we do now. If it's P. Johnson, to be what? Yes. So then here will be results. So how do you write a function? You can either click on function here, or you say equal to, or you type equal to, and then the function. So what are we testing? P. Johnson, which is H10, comma. So if it's P. Johnson is what? Is what? H10. Nah, it's intermediate. else, sorry, comma, it means can do it. I want to capture the cell. Again, I promise you, this is the simplest part. For some reason, it's not capturing. Let me say inter. You get what I mean by inter. And then if it's not that, it means um it's advanced. I can say ADV. This was what I was trying to communicate with that other place. So by that I mean H10 means Pete Johnson. So H10. So if you're in Pete Johnson Hall, it means an intermediate. For at Cook Studio, it means you're advanced learner, right? That's it. That's it. So we understand now, right? So now let's go back. We'll say if, which equal to comma, um, and then I'll say 5, if 5, which is C2, is equal to, is there 6.0? CGPA, is there 6.0? So 5 is like the highest. But if it was like, let's say 4.5, I can say if it's greater than or equal to, right? What's that? You're watching TikTok. Do you need time? Okay, so C2 is what? 5, right? Um, that's the logical test. Um, C2, sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to, so I don't miss, okay, yes. Let me copy this, let me save time. I'm trying to run as fast as I can, so we don't, okay, so I'll say photo if, then I'll paste this. So if C2 is greater than or equal to, what is B13? 4.5. So from 4.5 and above is first class now, right? Yes. Comma, our result, which is B14, is first class. So by that we mean if C2 is greater than or equal to 13, that's B13, right? Right? We say it's what? It's B14, right? B14. We say it's B14. Else, we leave it blank. C first class. How is this thing working? This is what we are doing. This is a table here, right? Different students with their CGPAs, right? And then we have values here. So it's like in school. Let's say someone gets a 4.49, right? There's like a range. This to this is this to this is this. So these are a range that we are working with, right? These are our CGPA range. So if I have 4.5, it means it's first class. If I have above 4.5, it means it's first class. If I have 3.5, so 4.49, it means it's upper. You get? So we are checking this against this. Do you get? Does that make sense? That's why I said if you are not math inclined, run no. I'm joking, I'm joking. Let's do it again. Where's that person that said no? Oh, you said no. Okay. But you understand the table that we have. I didn't hear you. Okay. Some persons are like you, but they don't want to speak up. They're in the same WhatsApp group. Okay, so I said there are different ways you can bring out a function, right? You can either type it out, or then you just click on the button and then you have a function. So one way is top left, right? Can you see where my mouse is? Function. I can click on that, and then I have a function dialog. So sum, average, div, you get. But for this part, we're talking about if, right? So we select if, right? That's the logical thing to do, right? So we select if, right? So if we select if, it gives us a modal. That I mean, this thing you are seeing is called a modal, right? So it has a rule. It has a rule in computing. We call it syntax. Syntax means rule. Just like how I said, screen is interface, right? So it has a syntax that it follows. It means if you do this, it will give you this, right? So logical test means, example, Pete Johnson is a logical test, right? Value if true means if it's Pete Johnson, it's intermediate, right? Value if false means if it's not Pete Johnson, it's Coke Studio or it's advanced. Does that make sense? Right? So what I've been doing since is instead of having to do it here, I've been typing it out. Do you get? Do you get, right? Okay. So you can use this or you can use the other one. So equal to. So it's the same thing I'm doing with that model. Yeah. So what's logical test now? We are checking this student, scholar 5.0, that first class, let's C2. If C2, right, is greater than or equal to, the bar of the lowest, that's the least, the floor for first class is 4.5. You're a student, right? Okay. Just wanted to be sure. It's 4.5. So it means if they have 4.5 and above, is what? Thank you. So if it's equal to, if it's greater than or equal to 4.5. So instead of having to write 4.5, especially when you're working with large data, you just put them in cells and then you reference their cell number. So C, this, A1, A2. So instead of having to say 5, 4, 3, I just say C2. That's 5, right? So instead of having to say 4.5, I just say B13. Does that make sense? So if it's greater or equal to what? B what? Are you here? B13, right? If it's greater or equal to B13, what's our answer? Eh? First class, right? And what cell is first class? No, you are not saying anything. B14. Else. The way if statements work is if true, do this. Else. It's like how they tell us if you don't come to school by 8, you will pick. So if you come to school by 8, what will happen? You will not pick. Exactly, you will pick. But you get the whole scenario, yes. In case of B14, you want to put B2, D2. That yes, you can also do that. So instead of having to D2 is actually the answer. Do you get? So this is what is happening, right? 4.5 first class. So I'm saying 4.5 and then the text is what? First class. So I'm saying if I have 4.5, what am I supposed to show? First class. Exactly. So this D2 that you are seeing is the answer. Do you get? I hope you understand. You see, first class. So you can, for students, you can use this to calculate your expenses for like the month. Do we even calculate? Let's just feel like that. But basically, you can use it to organize your stuff, right? So you can get crazy and say, if a class is by 4 p.m., you can just write something. You get. But this like basic stuff you can do with it. So another thing we can do is um this time around someone will have to come and do this. If you laugh now, you are calling. Come, you. Yes, yes. Clap for her now. I hope she doesn't fall your leg. Oh. So the first one we did is first class, right? It's first class. So she will do, let's say, 2-1. That's upper. Clap now, encourage her. So what's the first thing you're supposed to do? Okay. If now. No. You see equal to and then if. Equal to. And if. Click on it. Yes. So what are you testing for? What are you testing for now? Okay. So you are testing this one now. Person has 3.86. If you click on it, click on 3.86 now. Like this one, until go back up. Yeah, click on 3.86 now. Exactly. So that's C3. So, comma, comma. Yes. Sorry. If this now is what is no. What are you checking for? Is it greater, less than? So if it's exactly so, if it's what use this laptop now. No, 3.5 is the if it's you now say if it's less or equal to now click on that. Then comma now. So what do you want to happen? So now click on second class upper now. Then comma. Okay. And then you can decide to it has vanished to is there another person who wants to try? So we are checking now. If this one, right? Sorry, this one is is less than or equal to this one. So if it's equal, what do we do? Exactly. Hmm? What's that? Okay, that's the else. So the reason you see that I'm making that blank is because I don't want to give it an else value. I just want a true value. Yes. Pardon? What's that? What's not on the C column? Oh, that's what I was checking. Thank you. Clap for her first. Clap for her. Clap for her. Yeah, do it. The E for this. Please, sorry. Eish. 6 is what?
It's less than
It's less than or equal to.
2.55.
What do you want to do?
Science yes, was on the below.
Hmm? Okay, 3.5 is actually upper. Yes, yes, yes. Do you get what they are saying? Okay, so this is what I want you to do. Test this one, not this one. This one is still the same thing as first class. So we are checking the wrong value. So let's do if, sorry, equal to this, if this
Right.
is less than or equal to what?
2.5.
Yes, it means
7 plus of 5.
you can leave it like that, right? You see, it also works. You can add that down. Clap for her, clap for her, clap for her. So the reason for the error before that they noticed was 3.86 is actually first class. I was thinking it's 2.86, right? So is there another person who wants to try? Someone from the back. Favor, come now. No time. Man of the moment. Okay, so we've checked for first class, we've checked for second class. So let's check for lower now. Okay, we've checked. This one now is answer for first class. This is answer for second class proper. So we want to check for lower now. How do we check? Encourage the guy. No, 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 no. No. So how do you write a function? Press equal to, and then the function you want to use. Our own is if. Do you get? So logical test, value if true. So what are we checking for now? We are checking if, let's say your hand is shaky, calm down. Let's say 2.89. Let's do the check. Right? Is less than or equal to. No. Yes. Continue, continue. Yes, now you are correct now. And you are call next. One time fast, fast. No, 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 you are not checking. If you are supposed to check for something now, let's say this one now. So it's 2.8. C9, right? If someone gets a CGP of 2.94, what grade is that? Is that one first? Upper. So if this now is greater than or equal to 2.5, you get, you say class lower, and then you can just close it. See, the whole idea is if something, do something. That's it basically. When you finally get to create the group, I'll send this over so you don't have to worry. You get? I don't expect you to understand everything now, but if you understand like the mind behind it, you'll be able to do something. So the next scope is concatenate. What does concatenate mean? You're supposed to switch places. You're supposed to be here, I'll be there. So join, right? If I'm concatenating, it means I'm joining, right? Boy and girl, man, and so give me a name. Jerry. Give me another name. Promise. Give me another name. Okay, give me another name. What's your name? Let's see. So we are going to join. So it's going to be like this one now. Like my name. So how do we start writing a function? Use an equal to, right? So equal to then what we want to do, right? So equal to concatenate, right? So how it works is after writing concatenate, I'll now say I want to add Jerry to promise to Anita to bless. No, it's not fair. I need a guy. One guy, one guy. Okay. So prosper. So concatenate. So the first name now is what? Jerry. You see? The moment I clicked on Jerry, what did you see there? A what? So instead of having to write Jerry, I just click on Jerry. If you are Jerry, and then I'll click on promise, comma, and then I click on comma, and then I click on what? And then I'll close it, I'll press enter. What did you notice? Exactly. Jerry, promise, thank you. So, but you notice that they are together. So let's add a space in between. So top left, that's where you have your function bar. I would say after aces, I'll put colon in between and give the colon space. And then I'll do the same thing here. So let's do this, everyone. Let's work on this now. This is simple now. On your system, you are not lost in Jesus' name. Let's find you. Ma, where's not writing? Ma, oh, okay. Most of the systems are not activated. Okay, if you can use Google Sheets. Please use Google Sheets. That's remember how we went to the internet and we use Google Docs. If you can use Google Sheets. Sorry. It's on. Why did you use that word for that? Okay, so join. You get so let's say I have data of students and I want to join their name to their grade, right? And I have a table here. I can actually do it like this. I want to join their name to their grade. This is the example. Let's say I have let's say Thomas, right? And then let's say 60. It's called 60, right? And let's say I have let's say 100 students, right? I want to concatenate 60 to Thomas. That's the idea. To join, basically. So concatenate. And then I say Thomas. I'll add a space now, and then I say 60. Do you get? So I can just say, okay, Thomas, it scored 60. I've joined. You get? The whole idea is to join. Do you understand? Yes. So for the Google Sheets, this was what I meant. Remember how we did Google Docs, right? You can also do Google Sheets. So just type Google Sheets. If the internet it's fast though. So you can follow along. Oh, I've not signed in here. So sheets.google.com. So yeah, you can open this and then follow along. I think the internet is better now. Oh, yeah. So if your system is not activated, you can use this. Do you get? You can use this. Say you are trying to type and it's not working. You can use this. Or you can just do on screen keyboard. At least follow along. This is if your keyboard is not working, oh, because for those persons that they can't type, it's because the office is not activated. But you can use Google Sheets. Ma, have we done the previous one? Have we done the concatenate part? It's simple now. It's just get a data, get another data, join them. Okay, for the space, this is what I did. Ma, I'm coming. See, for the spacing, all I had to do was, let's say Thomas is here. After the comma, I would write a quote, put a space, write another quote, and then comma. So the space in between the quotes is the space that you get to see. Ma. Walk. You can't close them. I know you open up. Can't close them. So this thing the factor on until the factor on you. But the capture you. Okay, are we together? Are we together? How many of us are done with this task? Concatenate. If Microsoft Excel is not working, use Google Sheets. We are not saying anything. You are not lost in Jesus' name. Let's find you. Stretch out your hands. Okay, so after that now, right? So you go to the cell when you want to display it, which is this right now. So remember that a function. No, any function. That is an equal to, and then this concatenates, you type concatenate. The moment you start typing, to complete it. So this one concatenates. So you're saying string one, this is string one. After that, comma. Remember now. And then string two. After that, comma. Remember now. And then string three. After that, you now close it. So I just explained how I add spaces. So how do you add spaces? After each string, after the comma, I'll write. Okay, yours is working. I think mine is working. I'll write colon space. Sorry, I said colon quotes. So this space in between is the space that you see here. Yeah. Yes, but give them actual space. You never give them space. And then you have to come out. Ma? So, you type it out. So, compartment. Then you select this one, comma, this one, comma. That's basically what you're concatenating. And then since this is the last line, nothing. So do another one now. I'm coming. I'm coming. You spell condo. What's in that? A42. What's in that? Your spell. Why you want? Quotes. Ma. So my blood you don't tire. Okay? My blood you don't tire. Press enter. Okay, I don't see why. You don't put this thing after that. After this, this thing, you put comma. Oh, after this, you get is now. Okay, put comma after the quotes. Then you know add space now. Say the quote.
I see. Like for example, now let's not use equal sign.
Yes. So you now start typing con, car, see, concatenate. This first one.
What is the opportunity?
When you want to start writing a function, you write equal to.
Mm-hmm.
So if you type if,
Okay.
but it's not if now it's concatenate, you type con. Since I already see concatenate, I'll just press tab.
Okay, well press start.
Yes.
Okay.
So as
Then
you've selected it now, you select what you want to concatenate. So this one, comma. So like that. This one, comma. So when you are done, you just close it. Press enter.
okay, so let's see. Okay.
You get. Can we proceed? Huh? Then are you pray for the system don't fuse it. No more. If auto save in the nowhere. Can we continue? Okay, so let's do data range and VLOOKUP. Concatenate is simple now. Just carry this one, add, put space inside.
So how do we know if Google Sheets?
Yes, it's the same. It's the same thing now.
I know.
Add
How do we
space.
yeah, how do we add space?
So the same way
You know in that
you added this one now.
okay.
Come here. I'll put this close here. I can't find your level of this. Let me see if what we want. It's very same. It's very common. What's the movements? Let me find the movements.
I think many of the things that we tried.
No, it's the way it was set up. Just let me find your double quote. This one is single quotes. Ma. Such an over.
Remaining 4 minutes. Just 1 minute.
Okay. So the same way you added this, add double quote space, double quotes and comma. The space in between the double quote is this space you see. Look at it. Do you get? So that same way now do it for the rest. Comma.
I don't know. I cannot see what's on the
Are you
screen.
serious?
So I don't know what's going on.
Are you serious?
Yes, and I can't even to the front.
So basically what we did is just name like different name. Ma,
Space and space.
I can't see your screen. Okay, so after you say A1 comma whatever. So after that A1 comma, you put a quote, comma. So in between that quote, you add a space. Do you get? She didn't pay you now. Can we do data range quickly? Quickly. Ma, eh?
The full name, are you supposed to be here?
No, anywhere. You can put it here now. Yeah. Depends on how you want your document structure. You can move it there. Okay, look at something. If you have, let's say, I have something like this, right? Auntie, I'll just double tap to expand it. You get? So instead of it spanning to the other cell, you just take the full space. Okay, do I have your attention now? Okay, so can we continue? Because of time, we have 1 minute. So this is what I want to do. I want to create a drop down, right? So 2028, 2035, year of graduation, right? Want to create a drop down for it such that we have a range. Let me explain what's happening now. Look at something, please pay attention. If I can come here now and I can select another thing, come here now and I can select another thing. So here now, this is the VLOOKUP. We won't have time to do VLOOKUP, sorry. I can come here now, instead of Canada, I can select another place. I can select China. You get? I can select Mexico. So this is what we want to create. So how do we do that? We use data validation for that. I want to use this one. Ah, to be fast, let me use online. So I will come here, data, and then I'll come to data validation, and then I'll add a rule, right? So basically, just like how we said, if something, right? I will select what I want to validate. Let's say, let me close this out for a second. Control Z. Let me call this course of study, right? Whenever you have a cell spanning to another cell, right? Like an overflow into another cell, all you have to do is come to the top of the cell, right? And then you double click. So for this one now, I'll come here, I'll double click. Why is this thing taking? You see, once I double click, it adds the space, like it spans the space. So it's course of study that we are working on. So change it to this. So, so we are working with G6, right? So I'll come to data validation, and then I'll add the rule. So what am I validating? I'm validating, let me take this one off. I'm validating this. I'll say drop down from range here. So I'll now select the range. I'll select year of graduation. Ah, my system is not hanging. Oh. So I'll press OK. And then for this, I'll select course of study. Then press OK. So if I click on drop down now, you see the different year, 2024, 2026. I can select different year. So with this, basically, just add a rule. So let's do another one. Add a rule. Before that, let me give it title. Let's say country. And then data validation, and then add a rule. So I'm validating this, and then I'm selecting drop down from a range because I have range of values, right? And then I get to select the range. So I'll come here, I'll select this. They are basically the same thing. So let me select another thing. So let me select continents. Then okay. So you can see I have different continents. Again, I promise you this is the simplest part. And here's why this thing is important. We are rounding up now. Here's why this thing is important. If you have large amounts of data, for those of us that plan on doing data analytics, right? If you have large amounts of data, you won't have time to be typing Imad Johnson, USA, right? You're supposed to structure it such a way that, okay, I have this and then I have a drop down and then I can do what I want to do. You are trying to analyze data. Okay, how many persons are in USA? We would have done that with VLOOKUP, but because of time, because of time, because the way VLOOKUP works is all I have to do is type a particular name or something. So for this name now, I can say instead of John Miller, I can say, please pay attention to what I'm doing. I can give it another name. And then you see it changes. So instead of this name, I can say Carlos. And then you notice Australia, Australia. So what it's doing is it's selecting from my table. So if you are planning on going to things like data analytics, this is actually really important for you, right? So I hope maybe in the virtual class we'll get to dive deep into all of this, and then we can go over data range again, and then VLOOKUP, and then if there are other intermediate things we'll have to do, we'll also get to discuss that. Do you have any question? I don't expect us to have any question actually. We don't have any question, right? So is there any table that has not given their list? Any table? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mm. Okay, look at what I did. eh. I told ChatGPT to give me in Excel format. So what he did was gave me a downloadable file. Do you get? So what I had to do was click on that downloadable file, and then using Google Sheets, I'll come to Google Sheets file, and then I can import.